Yeah, he's a pro. I mean, he's mature beyond his years. You could see that just watching him at Notre Dame from afar. You can see how important the game is to him. He's smart, conscientious. And I think he represents a lot of the things that you want from Rams types of players and kinds of guys that we want in this building. It's been unfortunate, the couple setbacks that he's had, but I've seen a guy that's been unfazed. He hasn't flinched, and I do know that when he gets his opportunities, I expect him to be able to do what he does, and that's play good football. Hi.
Were you able to talk to Brian Allen today, and how did he look through walkthroughs?
He did really well. Brian is. It's good to be able to get Brian back with us. His command, his understanding of what we're trying to really get done, and then his communication up front breeds confidence to everybody else. So he did a great job, and expect him to have a good practice today too.
Is the communication the main thing you hope he brings to the O-line in his defense?
I think it's that and the production. He's obviously, you're going against a very good front, but his competitiveness, his toughness, his big picture ownership and understanding the rapport he and Matthew have, is really important. Good to get him back. I'll get you next, Gary. Go ahead, Sarah. I think it's been good. I think similar to what we've, talked about before, Sarah, I think in a lot of instances, the flow of the game dictates opportunities. If we're playing from a lead, you're forcing people to be a little bit more one-dimensional, and I think that's a team thing. We've got to do a good job offensively of sustaining drives, scoring points to be able to get, some leads and then offer the opportunity for our guys. I did think that, even the last time we played against these guys or even in the Carolina game, they took a little bit, not the Niners, but Carolina, maybe a little bit more of a conservative approach where the ball was coming out quickly and some of the things that they were activating. But I've been pleased with it, and then I'm looking forward to hopefully creating more opportunities as a result of the way that we play as a team.
Will Cam Akers practice with the team today?
He will not.
Do you expect him to throughout?
I don't think so. I think it'll probably be same as this week as we're continuing to try to get some clarity to that situation. If that changes, I'll let you know.
And in terms of Van Jefferson and his return, what, not just individually, but what will he do, you think, to maybe accelerate the passing?
Well, I think, you're adding a guy that's been a dynamic playmaker for us. He's been in the system for a handful of years where he can play multiple spots. I think he's got a comfort level with Matthew, and obviously I think he's a complete receiver. He plays well without the ball. He plays well with the ball. He can do a lot of different things for us. And, he's stayed engaged. He's a guy, you guys know what a big fan of Van Jefferson that I am. And so to be able to get him back, I just asked about Brian Allen, those are two big boosts to our offense. Yeah, we'll probably start his clock this week as well, get him out here. And he's another guy, similar to what I was saying to Jordan about Kyron Williams, mature beyond his years, comes from a great football pedigree, has a great ownership of what we're doing defensively. Really, you can see this guy loves the game, works at it. He's a guy that, if you're putting stock in, you're putting stock in this guy, and it'll be good to be able to get him out here with us.
Sean, 2 weeks in a row, you get to see Christian McCaffrey. How different are they using him from the way Carolina?
It's hard to say, Kurt, just because it was so, they made the trade later on in the week. He got some touches early on in the game, and then as it kind of unfolded, where Kansas City scored some points, wasn't used as much. Kyle does a great job of being able to take advantage of a versatile player that can do everything. There's no limitations in his game, so we have to be able to play sound defense, do a great job, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Coming into that game against Kansas City, the Niners were only giving up less than 15 points a game. Obviously, Kansas City is extremely explosive, but the way they moved down the field scoring, was that surprising when you look at tape that they could do it that well against that defense?
I think, what you appreciate is that's two great teams going at it, great defense, great offense. And, that's why every single week there's a new narrative. And you got to be able to play each week. You can't get caught up in the past. You just got to be totally and completely present. It was a one-possession game into the fourth quarter, and then they made a handful of plays that kind of ended up opening the game up a little bit. But there was a lot of really good ball. I mean, you look at the way the game started off, where they get an interception, on the very first drive. Thought Mahomes settled in, but you're seeing really just high caliber quality football when you're watching their defense against Kansas City's offense, and that's what we expect.
Sean, obviously you and Kyle are friends. You go way back. You won the biggest game between you guys, but he's kind of had you in the regular season, and I'm just curious, How does this not turn into something that's kind of personal for you?
Yeah, because it's about the Rams versus the 49ers. I got respect for Kyle, but our job is to try to put our players in the right positions, give clarity to them, make good decisions, as good as we possibly can during the course of the game, and then let our guys go do their thing. And so, similar to really what I was just saying to Kurt, really what's happened in the past isn't of any of my concern other than this week and being here right now. And I like the look in our guys' eyes. I like the way that our coaches have approached this preparation, and I'm confident that we'll be ready to go.
Sean, you mentioned yesterday that the bye probably came at a good time for everybody. How are the guys looking to you now that they've had a week?
I think they're good, Maria. I love the way that we came back on Monday. You get a bonus day. They had a good bounce in their step. I think just based on a lot of the different things that have unfolded through the first 6 weeks, it was at the right time. And I think guys used it the right way, where they got off their feet, they were able to get kind of rested, recharged, and then you get some bodies back that we've been missing that will help our football team. And I think we've been able to establish some more depth that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise, if you want to look at it, from a positive perspective. But I know our guys are excited about, our 7th game and against a divisional opponent, and being at home, it'll be great.
Historically, you guys certainly have not been shy ahead of the trade deadline, and obviously you guys were in it last week as well. Do you expect the group in the offices over there to be aggressive in exploring what's possible for you?
I would say, we're looking, we always look at a bunch of different avenues if we feel like it can upgrade our team, as you know. A lot of it is predicated on, all right, well, who's available? Is that something that we feel like kind of suits, the needs, or, gives us a chance to upgrade? And each of those narratives the past couple years has been a little bit different story. But there is always dialogue and discussions going on with certain players that might be available, whether or not something comes to fruition. If I had to guess right now, I think it doesn't seem like anything is imminent, but you never know with us, right?
I guess I wonder, is it, as you take a look at sort of the arc of the league in general, what's your perception of the increased volume of trades in general, off-season and now, and then also the markets have been sort of become more efficient?
I think really it depends on kind of the team's philosophical approach, and I think there's teams that have done it a certain way that have had an incredible amount of success for a really long period of time, and then there's some different approaches where you want to take advantage of being in those windows, if you will call it that way. I do know this. I don't know enough about the other buildings to speak on their behalf, Jordan, but the one thing that I do feel good about is that we have an owner, and then Les and I being in unison, and then also with Kevin and their group and Tony about being aggressive if it upgrades our football team. And it takes a great owner that gives you the willingness to not only be able to make some of those decisions, but also giving you the freedom to fail, because not every single decision we've made has been perfect. And I don't think we're afraid to admit that either, but you try to learn from it, and then you continue to shoot your shot. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we'll always do. And, that's how we like to live.
Couple more, you're only concerned about your team, but coming out of the bye and no one really running away with the NFC at this point, do you feel better going into this 7th game than maybe you did after your 6th?
Yeah, I think what you do learn is that there's so much football left to be played. If you said, okay, what did it look like after 6 weeks last year? Not a lot of people can remember, because so much changes from week 6 to week 17 to week 18. But what you do see that's consistent is the teams that are relevant play better as the season goes on. And that's where our focus and concentration is. I think it is really important for us to be able to just be right here, right now, because as we've seen, injuries, different things occur. What I think we've done a good job here, Gary, is not looking at the schedule and saying, okay, well, we should do this or that. It's, hey, how do we play a great game, give ourselves a chance to get the 4-3 against the 49ers? And that's really where we're at with that. And so we got somebody excited, ready to ask a question right away. Yeah. But that's what I would say. And it is. I mean, it's a strange year in terms of some of the different things that are going on, but usually those things have a way of balancing themselves out. And, I think we'll have a lot more clarity as this thing continues to progress. No, you're good.
I know you're not looking at the past, but when you're 0-7 in the regular season against the Niners, what is the message to the squad to kind of change the
Yeah, I don't think you really look at it like that as much as let's play this game. It was the same thing that we did when we played them in the postseason. It's, hey, let's look at, all right, what were some of the things that we didn't do that we can control that would give us a better chance of getting the outcome that we want? And there's a lot of instances in that from the last time we played them. You don't take any credit away from those guys, Kayla. But I really do believe this. There's a reason why there's so much crazy stuff that happens week in and week out in the NFL. And what you can't do is you can't look back. But what I am excited about is the opportunity to go compete and not afraid to put it all the way out there, compete to the best of your ability. And I believe good things will happen. And if it doesn't, not afraid to get up and keep swinging. And I know our players feel that way, but there's a confidence, there's a respect for the opponent. But, I'm looking forward to having a great week and going and attacking the opportunity.
Last one, guys. When you look at Kittle and
I'll get you.
Samuel, now McCaffrey, do you feel like there needs to be some major adjustments with the way you guys have defended them in the past?
I don't know that I'd say that. I think you're aware of they've got great playmakers. They do a good job of being able to, kind of put stress on defenses based on Kyle's ability to get those guys in the right spots and know how to attack certain defensive structures and schemes while also keeping his personnel in mind. And so, really all those guys are kind of the normal cast. And now you're saying, all right, how do they want to activate McCaffrey in some different ways that maybe they've done with their other backs? But they've always been a really tough outfit. Kyle does a great job, as well as the offensive coaches. They do a great job in all three phases, but I wouldn't say it changes much. We just got to go play good football and do what we're capable of.
A little more shifting with the offensive line, but what do you do differently compared to that first game Monday Night Football to the offensive line? Against Nick Bosa and the Niners defense?
Yeah, I think, communication like we've talked about. I thought, for the situation, the circumstance that he stepped into, Jeremiah Colonna competed, and did some really good things. I think getting Brian Allen back, like we talked about, will be incredibly helpful. I think, having some continuity where, you get your center back, you got AJ and you've got Rob at the tackles, and then we've got some guys on the interior parts of the line that are getting experience that hopefully this week of preparation will be better. But it's really about one snap at a time. Good techniques, good fundamentals, good execution, good urgency, and then being able to hit the reset button after every single play. Okay? Thank you, guys.
It's great. Didn't do anything. Well, I did do something, but it took some kids out. Tech tour.
It looked like you were able to get in the community a little bit. Are you able to expand on what that was?
Yeah, I took a group of inner city kids to a couple venture capitalist firms out here, as well as I brought some to SoFi and provided them another opportunity to learn stuff outside of entertainment and sports, because there's a whole world outside of entertainment and sports that I wasn't exposed to when I was growing up. So I figured I'd try to change that.
This continuation of the trip that you did, the program you did last year with kids up in the Silicon Valley?
Yeah, same thing. It was just, I think we had a lot of success with that, and then they wanted to do it in LA, so I did it in LA. Got some great companies to, donate their time and, teach the kids. And so, I think the next one will probably be in Seattle.
Bobby, Chris Orris, nice to meet you.
Hello, pleasure.
From a run defense perspective, what did you learn against defending Christian McCaffrey as you prepared for him this week?
I think he's really, really good at finding the holes, when he's running. And so we need to be conscious of that. Obviously, they do a lot of, 49ers have a lot of gap runs that complement his game very well. So, I just think we need to be understanding how they're going to try to attack, our edges and attack the inside of our defense. So, at the end of the day, once you get all that figured out, you got to tackle them.
Have you ever been, in your career, have you been in a situation where you faced a star player playing for two different teams in consecutive games?
Yeah, we played Houston. I don't remember the year, but we played Houston. We played Dwayne Brown, and we played him. And then, literally the week, I don't even know if he got on the plane back. We traded him, for him, got him the next game, and so that was pretty cool.
When you mention tackling, that seems to be a big issue, not just with the Niners, but the big play in tackling. How do you address that?
I think you just be conscious of it. I mean, obviously, we're all professionals. It's stuff that we do all the time. It's just understanding that we don't know when those key moments are. That's going to be like if you miss a tackle, turning something big. So I think first is the understanding the gaps, understanding how they're trying to play you, and then after that is just kind of what you've been doing since you was a kid. Get them down on the ground, whatever that looks like. Just don't get fined.
And Bobby, it's been 6 games for you, and you had to buy with the power. How do you feel you've been doing this defense? Feel comfortable? You feel like you're playing faster?
Yeah, I think each week I'm getting, more comfortable. Obviously, trying to figure out, how they attack me within the scheme. And so I think, I'm growing every week. It was just all you can ask, to be honest.
I was just going to ask, over your time studying and watching the 49ers run game change and evolve and different things in accordance with some of the players they've had, what have they done differently from maybe when you had your first experiences with them? And has that been mostly player-led, getting different types of players, changing the types of ways they can move the run, essentially?
Well, when I first started playing them, I was playing against Cap. So they had a lot of misdirection type runs. I think the difference between early on in my career to now, I think most teams you pay attention to personnel, but this team is the team you don't pay attention to personnel, because every personnel they can have the same formation and same variation with every personnel. So you hear 21 personnel, you hear 12 personnel, you come in, they look just like 11 personnel, or it look like you hear 13 personnel, but it looks like 12. So that's kind of how they play with you. They bring in different personnels and make you think they're about to do something, and then it looks exactly like something else. So you more so see players and where they at in certain spots. So to me, that's the biggest difference, because you'll get the same play, but they have so many talented players that each guy can run the same thing and do it equally as well as the other guy. So you just study formations and understand that they're going to have 2 or 3 new formations that they haven't shown yet. I'm pretty sure they didn't show everything they could do with McCaffrey this last game, and so we're going to get different personnels with him. And so it's always fun. It's chess. So you sit there, watch film, and figure out what they're going to do.
In that film study, when you expand on that, you said, see what they're going to do. Are you studying tendencies then? What are you, in your part of the chess match, what are you studying in film?
You study tendencies. You study yourself. Because a lot of times they're watching you from previous games and see how you play certain things. And so how did you play those certain plays, and they'll try to maybe mimic the run game. You know, they didn't have Trent the last time we played him, and so he does a good job of coming up a little bit faster than all the other guys. So maybe they insert certain runs that have him involved. So, you know, you just look back and see if you can steal some plays and, you know, understand they're going to attack you in different ways. But, you know, I think that's the fun part of the game is, to me, like a lot of people say, the game is physical, but it's more mental than it's physical, in my opinion, because of things like this. It's, you know, if you get yourself in the right position, you know, you get to that 10%, then you're all good.
Bobby, in your battles with
Just a couple more.
Garoppolo, what do you see in him as a quarterback? And I was just curious if you have an opinion, if you think he's a better quarterback against a zone defense than when a team's playing man-to-man.
I think it depends on the team. I mean, if you have a good man team or a good zone team, I feel like, you know, as we've seen in this league, it really matters how you play on Sunday. There's been a lot of teams that are really good one week and not good the next week. And so I think he is extremely smart. He understands how to get the ball out quick. That's why it's so hard to get sacks on him, because he reads the coverages quick and gets the ball out of his hands quick. And so that's the thing. If he reads man, he's going to, you know, they have different man beaters. I think it's a combination with the coach and the play caller. If you have a team that runs a lot of man, they're going to make sure they have their man beaters inside of their play. So they might make checks within the play. So I think, again, it's part of the chess move. It's like, do you have the right check against the right defense that can, you know, hopefully get you in the right play and be successful. So hopefully we had the same.
You said looking into the gap. You said the Niners do a lot in the gap scheme. When you look at the defense as a whole, where do you think you guys are best at defending the gaps? Is it A and B, on the outside, C, D?
I think we do a really good job on the edges, and I think that's kind of why a lot of their runs kind of work back into the middle. And so on the one run that they had, a touchdown, they had us like overplay and then came up the middle. So obviously we're conscious of that. And, you know, I think we're just, when we're on it, we're great. And so just making sure that we're on it.
And you ever?
Last two back here.
Go ahead.
You sure?
You got it. Yeah.
Okay. I was curious, you know, in terms of the chess match, have you ever intentionally played something a certain way, knowing you're going to be scouted, to set it up so that the next time you run something, you can actually make a play a different way?
I mean, that'd be giving away my secrets, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
It's happened before, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Maybe it was here. Who knows?
So much goes into a career, staying in top shape during the entire career, like nutrition. We just talked to Joey Blake about the importance of keeping you guys healthy. What does a guy like that bring to the table on a team like this?
He makes your life easier. You know, I think we have so much stuff going on in our life with our family, football, studying, workouts, things of that nature. And so you have a guy like that helps you with your nutrition and helps you steer you in the right direction. You know, we do the body fat composition, all those different things. And, sleep and your diet is probably two of the biggest things that you can do as a player to last long. And so when you have a guy like that can help you figure out what fuels your body the best and, takes that off your plate where you're not thinking about food just coming out. And, once you come up with a good plan, he has it ready for you. So I think it just makes it easier for you not to think about that and focus on the things that you need to focus on. So he's been pretty cool for sure.
All set?
Good. Appreciate y'all. Hope you had a good bye.